Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
So many.
Leila and I have been speaking before you guys joined, just getting a rough idea of what we're going to talk about. So we'll wait one more minute for a few people to join, and then Layla is going to introduce herself, so you guys can become acquainted with her, and you guys are going to be able to ask her questions. So she is truly a wealth of knowledge on, well, she's going to tell you everything she's a wealth of knowledge on. So I'm so excited. A few minutes.
Okay, now I see everyone. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Layla. If you don't know me, I help women become more elegant and feminine. I work with partners and girlfriends and wives of quite successful men, predominantly in Dubai, as well as I work with businesswomen. I also work with daughters of respected families in Europe, daughters of politicians, everyone who understands already the importance of being elegant, right? I choose to work with such women because it's just easier. Everyone understands why we need to be elegant already. Regarding image consulting, depending on the client, I can go, to Italy and we can buy some cloth or textile and go to a tailor or shoemaker or the perfume laboratory, and then we create the whole new look for my girls that I work with. Or in Dubai, the same thing, right? That's the image consulting. It's really tailored to every single person, and I work really, really, one-on-one. I'm not that much online. I get all of my clients through a network and my connections. And by the way, me and Lauren, we got to know each other on a business mastermind in Dubai where Ravi was a guest speaker.
You're all set.
Yeah. Okay. So me and Lauren, we met each other in the bathroom, and then we started chatting. As soon as I met Lauren, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is some another type of level." The way that you carried yourself, I just fell in love with you. Honestly, the second that I saw you, I was like, "Okay, I understand why Ravi li likes her." Okay, cool. So I make you blush. Okay. So that's that. And apart from image consulting and working really, really closely one-on-one with all of my clients, what I do is I have an educational ecosystem for the women that I work with that I introduce to, and everything that this you know and have regarding um, emotional intelligence, understanding the power dynamics of the world, because a wife of a really wealthy man, she needs to, read the room, understand people, read people, their body language and everything, understands what to say, when to say, what kind of role she's playing when she's with a man. Um, Besides, being pretty and elegant on the exterior, she has to be culturally sophisticated. Hence, we have a guest sommelier speaker, for example, in my program. My friend Gabriele De Joma from Ritz-Carlton, Dubai, really, really sweet Sicilian man. Um, so, things like this, it's gonna take too much time to explain everything. But other than that, um, I as soon as Lauren told me, would you like to speak on etiquette and sensuality and elegance? As soon as she told me, I was like, yes, sure. I love things like this. And I honestly, each time that I meet, new women and who's interested in being more feminine and elegant, and there are not a lot of women like this in this world, honestly, not a lot of women who take themselves up to a certain standard. Each time I have such an opportunity, I'm always up for it. So I'm glad to be here, talk about etiquette, sensuality, um, elegance, everything like that. And yeah, that's it.
Excellent. Has anyone seen Layla's? I know I've shared her content, her handle on my Instagram and inside the community. Has anyone been able to go through Layla's community or content yet?
I just
Ye-
started. a little bit, but not that I would say I know everything or like I'm fully in there. But I like when you shared it on Instagram as well, I looked into it. It's super interesting. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, does anyone have, based off of what they know about Layla, do you guys have any questions right now for her? Or do you want her to share a little bit and then you ask questions? Share a little bit and then ask questions? Okay, that's what we'll do.
Okay, share the program and what's in there and etc. Or
Uh, yeah, what is your, so you guys joined this call to learn from Layla. What was something that you would hope to get out of it? Is it, she talks a lot about unspoken communication with men, physical elegance, mental elegance. What are you guys trying to get from her?
Mental elegance, that kind of interpersonal connections, like how to read a room, especially, and how you interact with people given certain dynamics.
Mm,
Mm,
Me
love
too.
it.
And then also like etiquette, like just general etiquette. I feel like, I mean, I went to cotillion, so I know like some, but kind of the maybe a little bit in depth of what that looks like for a rare woman.
mm, okay.
Also, what are the most common mistakes that you see women make? So that you're working with women who are already in circumstances where they have to kind of be, have their more wits about them. So what are the more common mistakes that you see as well?
Mm,
Or like even the slightest adjustments that you can make that would make a difference.
love it. General
I want to
etiquette.
add like a little bit of a more specific question because I'm very intuitive, so tend to get stuck inside my head, and then I would not notice, for example, what type of shoes someone is wearing, or I could read a room emotionally, but I would not always do that on a physical level in terms of body language. So maybe some kind of tip on how to practice doing both, or yeah.
Reading the room, reading people's body language and tuning in with your intuition. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions, or we can maybe start because there are a lot. Okay. By the way, how much time do we have?
It's typically an hour. We can run over.
Okay.
We sometimes run over, sometimes we're under, but we have typically an hour.
Yeah, I'm in Russia. We have a lot of snow, probably snow going there as well. So excuse me. Okay. What did you say about me? You said Layla is in Russia, and then what did you say?
I said, I don't know what did I say? Probably just that's why your connection. Oh, in your,
Um,
yes.
okay. So I wanted to start with the general thing, the common mistakes, right? The interesting thing is that my background is my mom worked in real estate for I was raised in an environment surrounded by business owners, and my mom would always, teach me etiquette and always would pick up on smallest little details regarding my exterior, the way that I would behave, and that she would pick up on it, and immediately she would say, sit up straight, you cannot say that, you cannot be that, etc., etc. So I have a basis on that, and that's where my obsession with details comes from, and also my the school that I went to. We were also taught to be a certain way, so that's that. And that's a small preview. Also, at school we had like 19th century balls with really big dresses, and me and Lauren, we talked about it. She was really shocked a little bit, but we did had it. So we had to learn, specific body language, the elegant body language, because when you're valsing, etc., etc., you have to move a certain way. And also, the mental elegance, Charlie said it, asked about it. The mental elegance comes from your intelligence and how much you know and the books that you read. For example, I honestly, I grew up as an ugly duckling and I had everything that you could think of. I had pimples, braces, glasses. I was the A+ student, the nerd. I didn't have any friends. All teachers loved me, and I was this, person who people would come to, and then they would like, oh, can you teach me this? Can you teach me that? And I'll be like, yeah, of course, of course. So I grew up not pretty, and then also, when I was in university, I was studying business management. In university, I was overweight. So I had all of it, I first became smart and I had to work on my humor and my how much I know in general about the world. And because I was not pretty and I was not elegant in general, right, in the beginning, I had to learn it on my own. And I also right now see how people differently perceive people who are elegant and pretty and know how to, present themselves to the world compared to when I wasn't pretty at all and when I was overweight. And I see how people treat you differently, and hence I'm able, to actually distinguish on my own example um, how the world changes when you become more elegant and how easier everything is. And also, um, again, going back to mental elegance, just read more and forget about reading, romantic books. My father, for example, would always say to me, why the hell are you reading all that, love shit? Go read something about, politics, economics, and, business. And so when I would be reading, I'm a bookworm. I have a lot of books, right? And when I would be reading in front of him or around my parents, I would be reading something about business and politics and etc. Hence, I was forced to be smart in this way. But then on my own, I would read some Russian literature and poetry, and because of that, I'm able to be a little bit more, poetic sometimes. So yeah, that's that. Um, Mental elegance comes from eloquence. Sometimes you might not know everything, but you accepting that and then being able to ponder upon it, or just talk about it, vocalizing what you think in a beautiful manner. Also, very specific voice modulation, right? Um, that all adds to it. And as a woman, when you're in specific environments, let's say around politicians or businessmen, mm, you will never be on the same level as they regarding business and regarding their industry and niche. And no one is on the same level. But how we can be a little bit more, interesting or charismatic, it's, being able to um, instead of thinking about how insecure you are about certain topic, just try to be a little bit more charming, because all people are narcissistic and all people love to talk about themselves and what they do, and especially businessmen. If you ask them what they do, they can just talk for hours and hours, and especially hyperachieving men, wealthy men, they are all, mm, they are burning for what they do. And you don't really need to know a lot of stuff. You just need to be interested in them. And when you're genuinely interested in other people, then you're becoming interesting to them as well. No one is really asking anyone in this world about other people. People are so in their own minds, and they care so much about what's going on in their life, so they don't have time or mental capacity to be interested in another person. So
I
shifting
have a
focus in, yeah,
question.
let's go. Yeah, yeah.
So, um, where it just escaped my brain actually. This is so annoying when this happens to me. So you said it's like to be more charming, which is kind of like a blanket statement. So can you give can you give like very clear examples of, so like for example, mistakes that people make? So we are women who are dating businessmen or whatever, and what is like a very concrete example of a mistake that you see someone make that's not necessarily bad, but it's just a way that they could improve, and then the, I guess, opposite thing that they could do that could improve their ability to be seen as elegant.
Elegant. Okay. Mistakes. Well, the first mistake is having a non-elegant body language.
Okay.
7%. So in communication, 7% is perceived by the words that are coming out of someone's mouth, and then 55% is perceived by our body language. So sometimes we don't even need to talk. The first thing that everyone is, seeing in each other is the body language. So the mistakes that I see is that a woman is just seated, no structure. The first mistake is allowing yourself to be not structured at some point. You always have to be structured. You always have to carry yourself a certain way. You have to you have to learn the elegant body language, what we do in the feminine way as well, right? As soon as they join the biggest, module that we have, the self-presentation module. And that's the first one. The second one, a mistake, I would say, depending on what we want to portray, or what kind of character we want to portray as a woman, we don't want to be lightheaded because we don't want to be seen as escorts and dumb, right? Which means that we cannot laugh too loud. And also our laugh should be pretty and elegant, and we must train it. And this is how I was taught, the level. um, you must laugh in a pretty way. You must train it. Your body language should be precise. Mistakes. A woman that is not elegant. It's hard like this. I usually see, and then I'm like, oh, this, that,
May I ask a question?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So I guess we can also get Lauren's point of view from this because I follow both of you on Instagram, and I remember you posted this story of you like practicing or like always practicing yourself, and like how just catching yourself like being, I don't know, out of structure, I guess, for the lack of a better term. But like for me, I'm such a very like giggly person, and I know I have to work on that sometimes. Like sometimes when I'm nervous, I can just like be like what you were saying, like kind of like lightheaded. But at the same time, that's also my personality. And Lauren was also talking about like being weird, being your weird self and allowing yourself to be that because like so many other people are kind of like, I don't know, like blank and just like very rigid. So how do you balance that? Like how do you balance having your personality shine and being your weird self, but also at the same time like being this polished, elegant woman that you want to be? Because I feel like I'm in the middle.